Good evening. Welcome to VC3 News and Sports for Wednesday, August 21st, 2024. I am Shadane McLean. Fisherman and President of the National Fisherfolk Organization, NFO, Winsworth Harry, said that this year was one of the most challenging years for fisherfolk across St. Vincent and the Grenadines. In an interview with VC3 News today, Mr. Harry said that fisherfolk have recorded a very low fish catch since this year started.
I think the catches for this year is really low because, like for instance, like from January to July, we used to call it the dolphin season, the pelagic season where we go and catch dolphin and kingfish and yellowfin tuna. And this year we really see a total decline in our catches. It even goes back to when we have Fisherman's Day. It was the lowest landing ever for fish on Fisherman's Day when you could see a boat that wind the engine only had 82 head. And 82 head come up to over 320 something pound. And we are facing a very serious challenges with our fish stock right now because the fish on them is going further and further out from us. And then with the hurricane that come in again, make it more challenging for us because and the shorelines, as I said, we lost our fishing grounds because we couldn't go to the Grenadines and fish because the Grenadines was disrupted because some of the fishers go over there and camp, spend weeks and come back up and fish. And then what we see now is how do we improve our catching ability, because our catching ability seems to be very challenging right now.
NFO President further added that the impact of Hurricane Beryl last month has made it harder for the fisherfolk not only in the Grenadines but also on mainland.
From the hurricane itself, we know that the mainland St. Vincent was really affected, but not as much as the Grenadines. But on mainland, the fishing activities was disrupted for, say, over the last 2 weeks because most of the fishers that from mainland goes to the Grenadines and fish. And if they've been affected, that means our fishing ground has been affected as well too, because the days where we go and harvest the fish for our income, our shorelines was really in terrible condition. The boats where we pull up the boats was not a favorable spot. There was a lot of damages to the boats. The beaches was really eroded with a lot of issues surrounding that. So I think we faced a lot, and most of the damages at mainland St. Vincent was from Barley to Calicoa, where we suffer, most of the fisherfolk suffer a lot of damages.
Mr. Harry further added that the fisherfolk on mainland are yet to receive assistance from the government with the fishing crisis they are currently facing.
Most of the fisherfolks are reaching out to the national organization for assistance because what they notice is that the focus now is more on the Grenadines, which we know that is priority. But with St. Vincent and the Grenadines still, and then the mainland fisherfolks had not been put in on the agenda at a serious concern, but we was affected because we have total loss of fishing boat. We have loss of income for the last 2 weeks during the passing of the hurricane. We had to clean the beach and do a lot of things to our fishing boats, and I think there need to be some address about how the fisherfolks is going to be assisted on mainland St. Vincent and the Grenadines as well too, because we know that we play a very serious role in terms of the harvesting of the fish.
Meanwhile, Minister of Fisheries Saboto Caesar said that there is a slight drop in the production and productivity of some fishers across St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Speaking at the Hurricane Beryl Recovery Consultation held at the Cumberland Playing Field on Monday, the Fisheries Minister explains that the fisherfolk have faced several challenges over the past 3 to 4 years. Minister Caesar further noted that the ministry is, however, on a quest to ensure food and nutrition security in the country.
We have launched in this country a fleet expansion program. And there are some persons on the leeward side of the country who received assistance and have expanded their production. From the $2 million assigned to fishers, the Fisheries Division gathered your information already, and they will be mobilizing the fisher folk to get the assistance necessary.
He added that under the UBEC project, fisherfolk will receive assistance.
We are going to work to place fish aggregating devices, FADs, so that it is going to make it easier for the fisherman. And this is going to also encourage more young persons to get into fishing, because you have a large market here with the growing hotels, and we have a market that we can harness through the exports.
Those are our local VC3 news stories for today. Next up, we have our VC3 local sports.
Your life, your vibe, your cola. So represent.
Your life, your vibe, representing the best cola. Me and talk about Zest Cola, right, from me.
Open the cola, me a look for the best cola.
Look to the left, me see the Zest Cola. Look to the right, me see the Zest Cola.
Zest Cola are the best cola. Represent for the Zest Cola. Zest Cola are the best cola.
Zest. Your life, your vibe, your cola. Zest. Represent with the best cola available island-wide at your favorite bars, restaurants, corner stores, and supermarkets. Zest. Your cola, your vibe.
On the local scene in soccer, the West Rogue Soccer Club of Canada and the St. Vincent's and the Grenadines Football Federation SVGFF are fostering a closer relationship that was established 5 years ago when the club made its first trip to SVG. Taking on their St. Vincent's and the Grenadines under 20 opponents on August 7th and 10th during their two-match tour across the nation. Both times, West Rogue emerged victorious. West Rogue defeated the opposition 2-1 in the opening game at Brighton Plain Field. Nashika Prescott scored for the SVG under-20s, and Julia Barbic and Cynthia Romo scored for West Rogue. The match was thereby resolved in favor of West Rogue on August 10, 2024 at the Chile Plain Field in Georgetown, thanks to a single strike from Wiana Banji. That's all for our local story.
Win back-to-school supplies from the National Lotteries Authority. Simply combine $5 worth of non-winning Instacash tickets along with $10 worth of non-winning scratch tickets. Provide name and contact number and drop-in box provided at active Lotto agents island-wide, qualifying you for 2 grand draws where you can be one of 20 winners of $1,500 worth of school supplies. First draw August 30th and the second on September 13th. Get your Instacash and scratch tickets and win back-to-school supplies from the National Lotteries Authority. NLA terms and conditions apply.
That's a VC3 News and Sports. Thank you for staying with us. Be sure to join us tomorrow same time, and remember to log on to our social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Ensure you tune into the VC3 channel 114 for additional updates. See you next time. I am Shadane McLean.